Good morning, everyone. Well, it's a cloudy day, so I thought I would get this started to be sewn up, and then I've got dishes to do and things to do inside for a while. So we finished off by threading our yarn through for the top of our head for our Mystery Izzy, and then you turn it inside out. And what I like to do is I use the green to sew up the green, and then I will use the yellow to sew the yellow and go back to the green to sew the green again. You don't have to do that. I'm just always worried about it. If I'm using a different colour, it might show. So as you're sewing it up, be careful that you don't get tangled up with the waste yarn for the neck. So when you're sewing, don't sew in your waste yarn accidentally, and also make sure that it ends up being on the inside so you can grab it when you've turned it around. So here's a piece that's tied up to the yellow, and I can sew with that if I want to, or I can sew with the top piece, but don't sew with the pieces you're pulling in. So I'm just going to start, and you might hear my little furry friend Holly rolling around in the background there, scratching up her blanket. She makes funny noises when she's rolling around. So I'm not too fussy when I sew it up. I just make sure that I hold it so the green matches up perfectly at the end, and then I just hold it. You could put a stitch mark if you want to. And then I just grab the stitches one side and the stitches the other, and off I go sewing up. Nothing fancy, so that the hole's gone from the top there, and I just work my way down. So most of us hate hand sewing, but sometimes I leave it and I sit and do it in the sun when I feel like just doing something quietly and relaxing. So I'm just going to work my way down and do that right to the bottom. Firmly, but I just stretch it a bit. I'm a bit too tight, and just make sure so that it's nicely sewn up there at the top. And sometimes my sewing looks tidy and sometimes it looks terrible. So it's all just how you do it. Oh, Holly's having a whimper. I think she needs to go outside. Of course, when I start filming, she wants to go outside to the bathroom. So I haven't got the door open at the moment. It's a bit cloudy and a bit cool. We've had some beautiful hot days. So I'm going to take Holly out and I'll finish sewing this up and I'll be back. So I'm really pleased. A few of you have finished some of your other Izzy dolls of the tutorials I've done, and I'm so pleased for you. It's really fun giving it a go, isn't it? Okay, I'll be back in a minute. Okay, I'm back. I have sewn up my little doll and I have done some dishes, so I've been a good girl. So I'm just going to clip these shorter. We don't need them long for any reason now. And so I've sewn up the sides, and then I just tied a knot with the other pieces of yarn just to hold them securely. Now, if you're pulling your feet in, so it's pulled in like this, don't use the waste yarn to sew up the side. But I did, because I'm going to sew mine across like this. I'm going to sew mine across. So I have used it to sew up the sides because these ones were too short. They wouldn't have reached, and I didn't want to try using another one. So it depends on what you're doing at the bottom. And I hope I didn't pull it. Gosh. Anyway, so there's my sewing. Not very tidy. Let's turn it round the right way. So you're seeing all the You're seeing all this in real time this time. So here's my sewing on the back. People are always saying, oh, you never show us the sewing on the back. Well, that's because it's not very good sewing. Now, look, that's not exactly perfectly straight. Oh, yes, it is, if I just go like that. There you go. And I made sure that I had my waste yarn. Yep, I did it right. Wouldn't it be terrible if I did it wrong on video? So there's my waste yarn to pull in the neck. And there I've used the different colours. You can just see my sewing. Bit tidier this time. Quite pleased with myself. So round the right way. So what we're going to do is we're going to stuff the head as normal. Try and get it way up there. You can use whatever you have to stuff it. I bought on sale a great big bag of this stuffing, and it's just been sitting there apart from when I made a lovey years ago. And I actually crocheted a head for the lovey, so you'll see that in the videos somewhere way back in my videos. I try and keep my crochet in a crochet playlist, and once I started knitting a few years ago, I try to keep that in a separate playlist. So if you're not interested in everything, you can just look at separate playlists. So you should find different things you can be interested in. So there you go. Is that going to be stuffed enough? We'll give it a bit of a pull and see what happens. Yeah, I think it's stuffed enough. Give it a strangle. Make sure it's all poked in so I can pull in the... There you go. Pull in these. So I should really make some sort of Facebook page so that you can send me photos of what you're making, because a few of you have made some things I'd love to see. There you go. That looks, it's not very tight though. It doesn't. It will be when I stuff the rest. I always think I've done something wrong. Have a peek down there. There's nothing hanging out. All right. Don't be fussy. Don't be fussy. It'll be all right. Sometimes I can get a bit too fussy, and I've got to remember, don't be fussy. It's okay. Enjoy the journey. It's meant to be fun. There you go. It's done now. So I'll just cut it a bit shorter because I don't need those either. They'll be put in like normal. So there you go. Make sure give him a squash. It's all very exciting once you get up to the stuffing part. What's the part you hate the most? I don't mind the sewing up so much. Dividing for the legs and arms is okay. I mean, I don't love it, but I get it done. Keep out a bit of yarn here because I've got to sew along the bottom. I hope I've got enough yarn left. Oh, I haven't got enough yarn for the body, stuffing for the body. I'm going to have to disappear. I'm going to have to disappear to the bedroom and find where I tied it up. I'll be back in a second. I've got to get more stuffing. Oh, crikey, I think I got enough. Look at this great big pile. It'll sit here until I make another Izzy doll. And I opened up the spare bedroom windows because clouds have disappeared and the sun's coming out. Give it a squish. Oh, no, that's the wrong direction. Make sure your stitching's straight. So give it a squish. Make sure it's right. I think that's stuffed enough, do you reckon? Poke, poke. And I can see my neighbour's big boat's gone from his front yard, so I think he's gone out fishing. Well, I don't think his boat's gone. He has gone out fishing. He was out there at 6 o'clock in the morning because I took Holly out to the toilet. There you go. Is that right? That'll be enough. His head's a bit crooked. Oh well, nothing's perfect. So then I'm going to sew along here. So I've still got the green yarn here, so I'm going to cut a long piece. So sometimes the neighbour gives me a bit of fish, fresh fish, when he's back from fishing. A couple of times I'm standing on my deck and we can see each other. We're so close that he'll have the fish in a plastic bag after filleting it and cleaning it for me, because I don't know how to do that. And he just throws the bag over and I've got to catch it. Catch it with a bit of a scream. First time I was a bit nervous. I caught it. The second time it landed on the deck and Holly came racing over to see what it was, and I thought, oh no. I wonder if they can smell through plastic bags, because she was very, very keen to to keep sniffing at it. So when you have your waste yarn in at the bottom, you can see it's easier to find these stitches along here and make it tidy if you're not going to pull it in when you're sewing it up. So I just grabbed the first couple of stitches. So she goes, don't really know what I'm doing. So yes, shall I make I don't want it to get to be a big, busy Facebook group. Years ago, I've tried to admin for other people years ago, and it gets so argumentative no matter what you're doing. I'm on a couple of gardening groups and other groups, and the arguing starts. And I can't be bothered with arguing, or if you're doing things right or wrong. I'd just like to see people's pictures of what they're doing, and that way you could put the pictures up yourself. If you're on Facebook, let me know what you think. Or I suppose I could just post my email address and you could email them to me, but it'd be nice. Maybe I could show people what you've made too. I don't know. I really don't know at the moment. There you go. Have you guessed what he is yet? He, she, must be a girl. It's got a nice lemon top. So then I'm just going to somehow, make this nice and tight and thread it through up to the middle. No, don't want to pull it in. Thread it through up the middle, and that's what I'll use to go up the legs, and I'll use this one for nothing. So make sure the stuffing's, that corner's not stuffed. Look at that. Move over. It's a bit thick, this stuffing. You can't move it afterwards, but too bad, it's there now. This is why I say don't worry about being perfect, because I'm certainly not. So as I sew the legs, I just try and keep in line with this line that's up the middle here. So it's not perfect. So let me know if you're having a go, and let me know if you're doing a green mystery one here that I'm doing, and what colour your top is. I'd like to know what colour top you're using. What colour did you decide on? Someone says they didn't have a yellow or a lemon. And that's okay, because any colour will do. And so this is just what I do for the arms as well. So I'll just keep doing this. I'll go up the legs, and then I'll come back and start the arms. and see what it looks like. And if you don't think it's defined enough, you could get another piece of yarn and just go over it a second time. But you can just see it takes a while. You can see the dent coming here now. Let me stand up. What can you see? I see something different sitting down looking through my phone than what you guys see. So I have to stand up to see. It takes a bit of pressure to push it up through there. All right, well, I'll keep doing this. It'll take a while because I keep running out of room on my phone, and I will come back. Okay, so I've finished his legs. I don't know if you can really see. And I thought, gosh, he's got long legs and a short jersey, but of course we haven't done any shoes because it's all the same colour. So then I've got this piece, and I'm just going to push this through anywhere I like, thread up my wool needle, and then you just pull it through quite tightly, snip it close, don't cut your dole, and then it pops back inside. And that's what I'll do with all these ends later. So I had to run off to my spare room and get look at the big ball of yarn. Certainly not using scraps at the moment, am I? But that's all right. I wanted to use this colour. So the back, that's what the back looks like. I don't know what you can see. I'll stand up again. You can sort of see if I turn the light off. No, that's worse. But anyway, he looks quite tidy. He, she. Okay, I'll start one arm. So I just sort of like eyeball it. Eyeball it and then stick my needle in somewhere. There's no exact science with what I do. So I'll just hold that there. Oops, am I so busy concentrating that I'm make sure it pokes up in the right place. Yeah, that'll do. That'll do. Make sure you've got your end still. Hold on to my end. Oh, it's this end I hold. Funny. Making mistakes on video already. Maybe it's a bit early in the morning to be making big decisions. So I just hold on to that first bit. There you go, just pull it tightly enough that you define the arm. So it's nice and quiet today. The neighbour's doing a lot of earthworks in his backyard and moved his garage down the back and laying concrete pads and breaking up concrete with a big digger. And when he smashes the front part of the digger, that's come out the wrong place, hasn't it? That's come out the wrong place. Oh well. It sounds like an earthquake. And it shakes my house. And poor little Holly is crying and looking for a place to hide because it's so loud. And then I'm just going to poke that in anywhere and come out anywhere. I'll poke that somewhere else. Poke it right out the side there. Pull it tight. Snip it off. And then I'll get rid of that, and then I'll do the other arm. And then we'll see what it looks like. Back in a minute.